was so close, Steve. I almost eyeballed a perfect entrance.
Almost. I believe in you, but
we're getting there. Hi, welcome to another episode of Best of Five. The show that celebrates the anniversary of the Titanic sinking, along with other celebrations of the Titanic sinking, such as the flagship of the Black Sea Russian Navy sinking today as well. So, congratulations. Yeah, you didn't see that?
I'm not applauding that.
Look, they sank in celebration of the Titanic. Okay. Not that there's a war going on or anything. Anyway, hi everybody. We're a fighting game talk show. Welcome, Steve. Thank you for subscribing for 51 months, and you're saying that you could be from Area 51. Are you?
I feel strange.
Yeah.
I also feel like the government will not confirm or deny my existence sometimes. So.
Also, Tofu is asking, if it didn't sink, we wouldn't have gotten My Heart Will Go On. So that is true.
Wow.
Look, out of tragedy comes a new life. It blooms, right? It's Okizeme, right?
Completely random note. I just saw a couple videos made by this guy who recreated some of the meals that were served on the Titanic.
Oh, interesting.
It was really interesting. I'll send you the link after the show.
Yeah, man, we should have thought about that before the show, because we could have had live reactions. The celebration of the Titanic sinking. I mean,
well, it's like
not a celebration.
20 minutes each.
Anniversary. For any of them, Mike Swatter. Oh my god.
Interestingly enough, the main dish he made for like the third class ones was rice soup.
Oh, like rice porridge?
And it was like, it wasn't quite a porridge. It was porridgey, but it wasn't quite at porridge consistency. So it was like, it's still third class, so it's not necessarily fancy, but fancier than what a lot of people in third class were used to. So,
speaking of fancier than what people in third class were used to.
Pathos is exactly right. That door was big enough for two people. That was completely unnecessary.
It's my buddy Pathos. What up, Pathos? And he's usually right, so be careful with him. He's usually too right. He's too correct. Speaking of being correct, Steve, I believe there is something that we need to do to start off the show.
Usually.
Yeah.
Is it what we usually do?
It is. Steve, are you ready?
I am as ready as I'll ever be.
All right. I think it's time for the weekly recap.
Let's kick it off with nothing, because I got called into work today and I didn't have enough time to make the graphics for the recap. So, that's your recap.
Up. Oh no.
We broke it.
All right, there we go. We're back. Thanks for the amazing recap as always, Steve. Sorry, I'm gonna peel back the curtains a little bit to explain what happened, because it's even funnier. The way this works is I press a button and it automates a bunch of stuff. One of the buttons I have to press, or I have to hold down a button for the music to stay on the way out, and then when I let go, that's when the music stops. My fingers slipped off the button, so I hit it like 8 times. And that's why that happened. Anyway, thank you for the recap, Steve.
You're
always
welcome. Anytime.
Yep, concise and precise. And that's all. And that's what we can expect from the main squeeze, the Ace King offsuit Jurek.
So yeah, I was planning on having all of today to prep for the show. Like, one of my friends had a birthday this week, so it's like, okay, that's okay. I can just do all the show prep on Thursday. And then I get a call like, Steve, hey, buddy, friend of mine, pal, amigo, compadre, could you come in for like a full day, right up to the absolute last minute you can stay? And I'm too nice of a guy, so I said sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why Steve is winging it. Steve is winging it.
It's not only Steve winging it, we're all winging it. Speaking of, by the way, Steve, something I've been told and that I kind of wholeheartedly agree. At the end of the day, get that bag, right? Make that money. Pay your bills. Speaking of paying your bills, if you have Amazon Prime, you
That's
are
a nice segue.
you are entitled to a free subscription here on Twitch. And if you have not used it, you may as well just use it on our channel. If you click subscribe, you can click subscribe for free, and that'll give you a free subscription. Don't let that go to waste, or else it's more money on Bezos' pockets. And how much money does he need? Not any anymore, because he's too rich.
Well, he might want to buy Twitter. You know, it's
You know what's hilarious
it might be
about
up
that?
for sale.
You know what's
It might be
hilarious?
up for
You know
sale.
what's hilarious? Twitter is not worth as much as Activision. Microsoft bought Activision for more money than Twitter. And we have that mean scene resubbing, not using their Twitch Prime, but resubbing for the 16 months in a row. They're on a 3-month streak. Twitch says that.
Thank you.
No, thank you for everybody hanging out with us. All right, look, enough shenanigans. Let's talk about the happenings of this week. And we're going to talk about one that is, I feel like it's seen as sad, and a lot of people think it's sad, but honestly, I see it as nothing but like a really, really smart idea. EQNX. We all know EQNX. Now former esports team with such players as Brian F. Cuddlecore, who, by the way, like if you follow her on Twitter, she's been popping off. She even got she was on an interview with some person's name who I saw, and I was like, that's a famous person.
Katie Couric.
Yes, that one. Anyway, Joey Fury, among other people. Sorry, I went on a tangent and I never came back. Anyway, EQNX announced this week that they are suspending their esports operations, Steve, but this is sad to hear, but it's not all bad. Is it, Steve?
Well, there's a few ways to look at it. Let's start with the statement that they made earlier this week. They said, in part, quote, "It is bittersweet to announce EQNX Gaming will be pausing our esports operations indefinitely. This means EQNX will not compete in fighting games in the near future, and our players and stream team will be released. This was a hugely difficult decision to reach, as we consider the FGC our home, and each and every team member is family. Moving forward, the brand will focus on talent management and event and media production as we reevaluate our future in competitive gaming." They go on to say, "While we had plans to continue competing and growing the team, the ongoing situation with COVID-19 forced us to shift our focus. Although EQNX will no longer be active as a competitive team, we'll continue managing talent and creating events and content for the FGC. During this period, we've continued to help prepare team members for the transition. Our people are prime examples of professionalism, passion, and character, and we hope fighting game fans will continue to support them beyond the team." End quote.
End quote, indeed. Now, here's the thing, Steve. We've been around a long time here in this, what we call the fighting game community. Why I made that accent, we'll never know. But
You're from Texas. You get that option to do
God.
so.
I've been living in Texas for for more than 6 years at this point. That's scary. Anyway, anyhoozle. It's often been a point of discussion, right? That esports teams are not sustainable in the FGC. What was that? The team that Filipino champ was on, Splice announced that they were withdrawn. They went into the FGC. They got a couple of people, and after a while, they backed out and said, "Hey, it's not sustainable. Like putting everything in the back of one person is just not a good idea for us. We'll move on." We've seen many other teams come and go from the fighting game community. So, with EQNX moving to a talent management approach, I think that's like the smartest thing I have ever seen, and it's something that a lot of other esports teams, I'll put teams in quote, have been doing. Like, let's look at Panda Global, for example. They've been essentially like creating content and having their roster create content, host shows, host tournaments. They're essentially talent managers at this point. So on top of making their own events, right? So it feels like Equinox is kind of taking a page out of the Panda book, and it's a really good page to take, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're managing someone as talent instead of saying, hey, they're on my professional esports team, we're going to make sure they have all this other stuff, we're going to fly them out. It's a step back in the sense of they're not actively supporting that person in competition, but it's a step forward in the sense of we're making things sustainable. And I think that's such a smart decision, and I applaud EQNX Gaming for doing it. What do you think about it, Steve?
It's like I said, there is a lot of intelligence behind that decision. COVID has made things very difficult for a lot of groups that are, a lot of people and a lot of groups that are dependent on fighting game tournaments. Because without fighting game tournaments, there really isn't a lot of chances for the community to come together if you're a vendor or a company that like a Mad Catz that sells a lot of things to the FGC. It also means there really isn't a whole lot of opportunities for teams to get their name out there. And well, let me rephrase that. There are a lot more ways to get those names out there, but that audience is a lot more fragmented. Because when you don't have like a big event on a particular weekend, everybody else is going to run their own small event. When we talk about CEO or Combo Breaker coming up, most of the fighting game world is going to be focused on those events. So if you do well in Street Fighter, you're doing well for a big audience. As opposed to, if it's a weekend like, say, this past weekend, there might be a Street Fighter tournament. There might be several Street Fighter tournaments. There might also be a Guilty Gear event. There might also be a Melty event and a Blaze Blue event. And everybody's looking at their own little thing. And it's so tough for, that doesn't leave a whole lot of room for companies, sponsors to get any sort of return on sponsoring an FGC player. So it's completely understandable that they're going this way. But it does suck to see them not being in the competitive space because we've seen so many teams come and go. They come in either with whether they have great intentions or they think it's just an easy way to make a quick buck. So many have come and gone. So many haven't done right by their players. Equinox has. You talk to Cuddlecore, you talk to Brian F., talk to anyone who's been associated with the team, and they have so much love, so much respect for what they do. Equinox even allowed Cuddlecore to get a Red Bull sponsorship on top of her partnership with Equinox. So not everybody would do that. So it's sad, even if it's smart for them to do so, and it is to take this step, it's sad to see them step out of the limelight because that means we're losing one of the best teams at, not only in terms of performance, but in terms of what I would like to see sponsors strive to be and what they do for their players.
Sure, I don't disagree 100%. Equinox has always been like a beacon of like good FGC teams and sponsorships. But again, on the other side of that coin, with the direction that they're going, I can't help but think of it this way, right? we have the FGC, we have competitions, we have that avenue. How were they making money before? Probably through the sponsorships, right? That's how, at least my understanding of esports team is. But aside from the FGC, like when you step out of the FGC, how are those players benefiting? Right? They are making a living solely in the video game space, which is amazing, right? I think that's like a dream for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, when that's over, like what do they have? While they do have a lot of tangible skills, it's different. It's difficult to translate that from like a competitive world into a professional world. With this, with the shift from esports team to talent agency, I think, and again, I don't know the internal like decisions. I don't know the internal plans of EQNX. I don't know anything about that. But with becoming a talent agency, specifically if it's an FGC-minded talent agency, where you can take players and you can basically set them up for success outside of the FGC, that'll be a way to A, get those players going to events, B, get those players to essentially be self-sufficient and to be like part of the reason why your company's making money, right? Because that's what talent agencies do. They hook people up, they take a fee. They hook people up with gigs, they take a fee, or they'll train people to do something and send them off. I think it's such a smart move, and I think it's such a better way of thinking of players in the FGC. Because at the end of the day, it's like when competitions are over, much like what we've seen in the pandemic, when competitions are over, what do we have? Not a lot. But with this new approach, I think they're setting up everybody for success in the big picture, not just the FGC picture.
Yeah, I mean, like you look at something like Exo Academy, which has come up a few times, where they're not just taking a player on and teaching them, teaching them up in fighting games. They're also teaching them about social media management, about content creation, about editing. They're basically creating the opportunity. They're giving them a well-rounded education in, supporting yourself through a brand and giving them options to go in a number of different directions. One thing I want to circle back on when you talked about how these companies make money. That's really the big challenge, because if you're, say, like a Mad Catz, when Mad Catz sponsored players, they had Daigo, they had Mago, they had basically the murderer's row of Street Fighter. That made a lot of sense because especially at that time, they were selling fighting game sticks and other fighting game accessories directly to the FGC. If it's good enough for Daigo to use, if it's good enough for Mago to use, it should be good enough for me to go 2-2 with. Hopefully 2-2 with. But when you get these more professional teams, often in other esports, it's like you said, it's through sponsorships. Like these teams get sponsors, and those sponsors partner up with the players, and it might take a few steps to get to it, but they can generate sales. The FGC is so relatively small that there isn't really a whole lot of room to take those extra steps right now. Maybe that changes with Street Fighter 6. Maybe that changes with Project L. Who knows what the future holds? But right now, there really isn't a ton of room for like these big teams to come in and jump in at the level that a lot of people thought they might back in 2016, 2017.
100%. And the other thing that I think is very interesting
that was bothering me.
What was I didn't even see what you did.
I had a little piece of paper that somehow got stuck on my shirt.
Oh, well, here, I will join you.
I needed to make it gone. I got rid of mine.
Okay. Something that's very interesting that's come up in my life is within the past couple of months, like since October of last year, I've been exposed to a lot of the bigger esports. right? And it's very interesting to see. Like, I think I finally understand like why the FGC is known more as grassroots than other esports. Like, for example, Call of Duty League. That's something I got the chance to work on for a while. They have a media day where all the players show up a day or two before the actual thing, and they have to sit there and take headshots and film interviews and do all this other stuff, right? And at the end of the day, depends on the kind of person you are. That could be either a great thing or a terrible thing, especially if you just want to play the game. But that's the kind of stuff that's like, oh, this is a human being that I can like and or hate, and I will watch it because I like and or hate this person. Great. Like that's kind of how like you build up the fandoms in that way, and it feels a little bit sterilized and it feels a little bit artificial, as opposed to the FGC where it's like a lot of word of mouth per se. Like you see somebody do well, and then you go either check out their stream, or you like see them at every tournament every weekend or every week, and you talk to them and you get to know them that way. So I'd be interested to see how EQNX moves on from here as far as like doing talent management stuff, specifically with like how they will leverage their what's the word for not the agent but the other thing, because they're essentially becoming an agency. Their
talent.
Their talent. Thank you. Wow, it's almost like it's in the name. I'm an idiot. I'm very interested to see how they're going to leverage their talent to line their pockets, and how they're going to leverage their talent to line their pockets and their talent's pockets in this new world that we live in. So I'm for it 100%. I'm for it 100%. So big ups to EQNX. Steve, any final thoughts on the I mean, like at the end of the day, does it suck that they have to make this change when they were doing so well at the other thing? Absolutely. But I can't help but see, even if there wasn't a pandemic, I still feel like that's a really smart move and a very much like future-proof, sustainable move, if done right. Who knows what will happen, but we can only hope for the best. But Steve, any final thoughts?
I just hope that the players are able to find success and be able to make it out to events and compete at the level that they were when EQNX was a thing.
Very true.
Or at least EQNX was a team.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Steve. If EQNX is moving towards this and they're scheduling their players for stuff, so their players essentially don't have as much freedom as they have, right? Because as of right now, I think the big change is going to be, instead of giving or like paying them to train and then go somewhere. Sorry, I just knocked over an empty cup. Instead of paying them to train up and spend all of their time training and then going somewhere to compete, they're probably going to take some time and saying, hey, we got you a thing to do over here. Can you show up? Hey, can you show up to this? So my hope is that the players or anybody that's still involved with EQNX are not going to use those as excuses, right? In other words, they're not going to be Johns. And that brings us to our next topic, where there are no Johns.
That was nice. That was nice.
We're getting there. Professionalism, baby. Anyway, that brings us to our next topic, which is there are no more Johns. Steve, all the Johns are gone, except for the Papa John.
Papa John. So
Papa's in the house.
Papa is in the house. I also want to mention that Papa John was when I last checked suing Papa John's.
Mm-hmm.
I that has nothing to do with anything. I just love that fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but earlier
he was alleging that he was forced out, and like somebody like planted evidence or like took something out of context, and the board forced him out because of it, and now he's suing because things have gone bad for Papa John's, according to the Papa John. Anyway, Bo's in the house.
And the day of reckoning is coming.
The day of reckoning is coming.
But the day of reckoning for Smash is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
Because earlier this week, Papa John's, of all people, or of all companies, announced that they were partnering with a dozen different Smash events. And this included announcing some events that didn't have dates, but now they do. It starts with Genesis on April 15th, so this weekend. Then you've got Low Tide City, Smash Summit 13, CEO, Super Smash Con, and Shine. Then you've got Riptide, Smash Ultimate Summit, Big House, which was one of those that didn't have a date confirmed, Smash Summit 14, Apex, and Main Stage. Those 12 events will have, there will be, like, I'm not exactly sure what to expect here. You can figure that Papa John's is going to have some product at these events. They may have added a little bit to the pots of these events. I go for it. You want to say something? Go for it.
I'm just laughing because Jake in our chat goes, Papa John's does what Nintendo. I can't stop laughing at that.
That's funnier than it should be.
That is hilarious. I couldn't hold it. I was trying so hard. Oh man. But what? There was another FGC event that was sponsored by Papa John's way back when. Oh, it was Canada Cup. Remember Canada Cup where Gutex and Mike Ross were hosting, and Papa John's was sponsoring. Either Papa John's was sponsoring, or they just had Papa John's everywhere. Because I specifically remember Mike Ross saying, "This is how you eat Papa John's," and then he poured that gross sauce all over the slice and took a bite, and I was like, "All right, I'm out." It's like the SpongeBob meme. I'm a head out.
Was it the garlic butter sauce?
I think so, but that
you know what? Ass. No, it is not ass.
It's awful. It tastes like sour milk.
It does not taste like sour milk.
It absolutely.
I can understand not liking it. I can't understand thinking it tastes like sour milk.
It tastes like sour milk. It's like if somebody like at a grocery store like found like one jug of milk like all the way in the back that's like gone bad. It's like congealed, and they just threw like some garlic powder in it. They're like, "Here you go." It's pretty gross. I hate it.
No.
Also, that's not to say I like or hate Papa John's, because, to be honest, in college, Papa John's saved my ass with their $6 student deals. All right, it was Pizza Wednesday, I called it. I'd always go to Papa John's. So big ups to Papa John's. Big ups to Papa John. Big ups to Bo John. Bo's in the house. Wait, this is interesting. The Canada Cup thing aside, I think this is the second pizza-related sponsorship we've seen in the FGC.
The first one being Holy Totino's, correct?
Holy Totino's, yeah.
Which we still quote to this day because we are absolute nerds.
Well, look, rarely does a sponsorship ever feel organic. And not only that, rarely does using the name of a sponsorship in a line about excitement feel as vindicating and organic as the genius, the Lord Ultra David, made it out to be in that SoCal Regionals with the Holy Totino's line. So, yeah.
Now, there is one thing I was curious about with this.
Okay.
Some of these events are associated with the Smash World Tour, which is the one not associated with Nintendo directly. So that includes, Super Smash Con is part of the Smash World Tour, as well as Apex. And there's still another couple of other events to be announced. I don't think any of these will be on there, but there's still the possibility that some of the others will. But Big House, which has partnered with Nintendo in the past, likely will be, CEO has partnered with Nintendo in the past. You would think that those events, if there is any sort of community component to the Nintendo run Panda Global circuit, you would think those events would be on there. So the idea of Papa John's partnering with events that are in both circuits is very interesting.
Yeah,
Also, the fact that we're now midway through April and we haven't heard anything yet about this big Smash circuit.
yeah, that is true. Because there's, and the even more confusing thing is now there's two, right? Because there's the Panda Nintendo circuit, and then there's the other one, which I wish I knew more about. Oh, I wish I knew more about any of them. But yeah, it's so interesting. That's such a bizarre problem, and there's a part of me, and I almost don't want to say this because I don't want to will it into the world. But I feel like there's a timeline out there where Nintendo shuts the other tournament down to run their own, because that's what they can do. And I hope that don't happen. So please stop it, Nintendo. If anybody heard that, don't do it. Yeah, that's a bit of a confusing situation, especially now with this Papa John's graphic. It's like, what is this for? Right?
Hey, Papa John's can sell directly to the FGC. They can sell directly to the Smash community.
Papa's
You have to believe that there will be some pizzas for sale at these venues.
for sale.
By the slice.
By the slice.
Have you never seen that before?
No. I've only ever seen like the big boxes.
This was something that my high school had.
Papa John's by the slice?
Yeah, they had the little individual slice, and it was like $2 or $3 for a slice. You got a slice of pizza. It was a good sized slice. Why are you making that face?
Gross.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Steve. That means he had it too. Are you kidding me? Man, maybe it's because I went to the school in Pennsylvania. Because like all we got was like Nardone's pizza, if you've never had Nardone's pizza, it's good. Like don't ever touch it. If you see it in the store, run away. It's terrible. It's bad. Sifu Yanlei says they had pizza. Man, we got like prison pizza. I used to call it prison pizza because it was from the same company that catered, to local prisons.
Okay. So which makes sense because it's all about getting cheap food to the students, because feeding students doesn't matter.
Nope. But yeah, we had Nardone's pizza, and I remember I saw it at the store one day, and I was like, "They sell this? People buy this?" It's It's literally the grossest thing I think I've ever. Like, if you've ever had, if you've ever wondered what would happen if someone was like, "Oh dang, we forgot to buy cheese. Good thing we have this cheese powder," and they put that on top of pizza. That's probably what Nardone's is, to be honest. It's pretty awful, and I hated it, and I still hate it to this day. So anybody, if Nardone's, you're out there, stop it. Just please.
Just stop.
Just stop. But Steve, there's something else too. I think something that I think often gets overlooked is Papa John's has great sides. Do you have a favorite side? Mine is, they have like the cinnamon knots.
It's been a very long time since I've had Papa John's. So, because I started avoiding them when Papa went full Papa John's. And he's still a shareholder, but he has no position in the company. So you don't have to feel bad about continuing to order from them if you so choose. But
Yeah,
there are other pizza places that are preferred in this household.
Sure. Man, I'm just trying to think because I know Papa John's has wings. I ordered them once and I hated it. I know their cinnamon knots are good. Domino's, what are some Domino's sides? I'm trying to think. I know they have their cheesy bread, right?
They've got wings. They've got like the feta and spinach cheesy bread. Like anyway,
also the fact that like it's like Domino's wings, I feel like that's something we should all be wary of. So be careful out there.
they're fine.
Okay, if you say so.
They're fine. They're not the greatest thing ever, but you know, it's part of that $5.99 thing. Even though the wings I think are $7.99, but you can get like that and a pizza for $15. There are worse things out there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk about Combo Breaker side tourneys. I was trying to get there, we never arrived.
I saw what you were going for, but then you.
Okay.
The problem is when you talk about food, I have very strong opinions on some of those things, so you have to tread very lightly.
Popcorn Baron. Anyway, Combo Breaker.
Popcorn Baron is the man.
I think I'm like looking forward to that more than Combo Breaker itself because I've never had it, and everybody talks it up so much.
Oh man, it's
Look. I will say this: we are recording an episode live at Combo Breaker. If Popcorn Baron is there on Thursday, I'm eating a bag on stream. I'm getting a couple bags.
I don't think he's going to be setting up before Friday.
That's a shame. Maybe we can ask for a special delivery bag. Anyway, Combo Breaker has announced their official side tourneys. And Steve, if you thought the list of Combo Breaker main games was not enough, holy crap, there's a lot of side tournaments.
Yeah. So, this was designed specifically to take every pixel of my Excel template and burn it to the ground. Just into nothing but ashes and cinder and sadness. So, Combo Breaker announced a slate of games that have official side game status.
It's just a few.
Just a couple. And by a couple, I mean 28.
At this point, if we were in the live show, I would definitely like have put it into scrolls, and then this would be when I would unfurl it, just like whoosh, and then it like rolls all the way down to the ground. Because this is the list.
So, I don't know if we want to go through every single one.
Yes, we do, because there's a couple in there that I think are amazing additions, and I cannot believe they have not been in here before.
All right. So, these official community tournaments, I should say, which are going to be operated by the Kumite and Tennessee team. Start with Battle Fantasia Revised Edition, BB Tag, Chaos Code, DOA 6, Dengeki Bunko, Duck Game.
Stop right there. Have you ever played Duck Game?
I saw 2 minutes of Duck Game after I saw this list, and oh boy.
Duck Game is, without a doubt, I think, one of like the hidden gems of gaming in general. If you have not played Duck Game, I'm going to back this up by actually looking this up. Also, by the way, this just popped up in my computer. Apparently, Coachella's in Fortnite now. So that's another Fortnite character that's out in the world. But anyway, I'm going to Steam, and I'm looking at Duck Game. It's $12.99. This game is $12.99, and if you have a crew to play with, even if you don't, because now they have online, If you have never played Duck Game, get yourself a copy of Duck Game. Go play that online and see how much fun it is when you have like 2 to 4 people just like trying to kill each other with the most random crap out there, and you can quack.
That's all that matters is you can, how many other games can you quack?
There's even a stage where they don't give you guns, they just give you instruments. And you can't kill each other with instruments, but you can just make music and have fun.
Oh.
It's amazing. Sweet. It's amazing. Anyway, let's get back to this list. I can't wait to see Duck Game. I think I'm going to sign up for Duck Game, if we can schedule it.
All right. So, after Duck Game, Guilty Gear XX, Guilty Gear Xrd, Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix 2, Marvel Infinite, Mystery Game Doubles.
Doubles, wow.
2v2.
Steve, we're going.
Are we seriously going to sign up for this?
Yes.
Okay.
We're going to be Team Swords, Boards, and Gourd Lords.
Do I not get a say in the team name?
You absolutely do. I'm just kidding.
Like, I was thinking best of 5.
I don't want to put our names to when we're going to get bodied, Steve.
Look. I actually made top 16 somehow in Mystery Game in like 20s. I forget if it's 2017 or 2018. And then I got put out by Justin Wong. So, but anyway, it was
2018 because I was there 2017 and I went 0-2 and I was so pissed. Like, it literally ruined my entire weekend that I went 0-2 in the Mystery Game. Even though I almost made it out of pools in both Tekken, being the first Tekken tournament I entered, and Street Fighter V.
Oh man! All right, so after Mystery Game, Neo Turf Masters.
Oh boy,
we've got golf esports, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah!
Panel de Pon.
What is that?
That is a puzzle game.
Okay.
Power Rangers Battle for the Grid.
Mm-hmm.
Puyo Puyo Champions.
All right.
Rivals of Aether.
Okay.
Sailor Moon S.
Yeah.
Sam Show 5 Special.
Hell yeah.
Slap City.
Hell yeah.
Super Naruto Clash of Ninja 4.
Oh, no.
Which is the fan-made update to Naruto Clash of Ninja 4.
Is that the one that's like a Bandai Namco game? It's like one of those arena fighters?
Yeah, for the GameCube.
Okay.
And they added backdashes and a whole lot of other stuff. Smash Melee Singles. Smash Ultimate Doubles. Ultimate Singles being part of the main lineup already. Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
Woo! That's the one I haven't seen in a while.
Toho Hiso Tensoku. The Toho fighting game. Toy Fighter.
I don't think I've ever seen Toy Fighter.
So it's got this weird knockdown. It's this point system where you have, you start with a life bar. You get 1 point if you knock out your opponent, basically take down their life bar. You get 2 points if you land a throw, but you can reverse throws pretty easy. It's weird. It's weird. Every character's a toy, and the fights take place in like dresser drawers and whatnot. It's weird.
Yeah, Blue says it's an arena fighter, but more like Tekken.
And you know what? I let me look it up real quick, because someone who occasionally pops in here, Idolism J. I know I see them on Twitter.
Oh, he was talking about the Naruto game. Never mind. Go on.
But I'm actually going to link this in chat. They made a competitive primer for Toy Fighter. If you want to get into this.
Put it in the chat. I'm going to download it. Oh, by the way, speaking of, I downloaded... I downloaded Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles versus Justice League, and I'm going to be cracking out on that. Oh, also, well, no, we'll talk about that later. Never mind. Steve, we're getting sidetracked. We'll talk about this. Okay. We'll talk about this primer let's keep going down this list. So we got Toy Fighter.
Toy Fighter, Ultra Street Fighter 4, which I will enter and get 0-2'd in. Virtua Fighter 5, Ultimate Showdown, and Windjammers 2.
I still
That
haven't
is
played
the complete list.
I still haven't played Windjammers 2. Is it good? I feel like I should have played it because I like Windjammers.
Well, then you should fix that.
Yeah. Well,
So, as for the destruction of my templates, all 28 of those games are going to have their top 4 streamed. All 28 of them are going to have their top 4 streamed.
Okay.
By Net Battles.
Okay, so that is, let's say a top 4 probably takes what, like 30 minutes? So it's 12 hours. They can do it. No, it's a little bit more than 12 hours. It's probably like 13, 14, maybe 15 hours. They can do it. From what I remember, now here's the thing. Combo Breaker's badass in the sense that, like, when you go to Combo Breaker, there's not just one stage, right? There is a main stage. I haven't been to Combo Breaker since Combo Breaker 2016, but the way they had it is, like, if you could imagine this square being the room. Up here this is the main stage, right? There was another stage here and another stage here. And there was another stage here in the back, and there was another stage here in the back, and there was another stage like in the middle somewhere. So they utilize their space very well to make sure that everybody has a place to go. Even if like the main stage is a game they're not super into, like there's always something for you to see in there. Like you could literally walk around that main floor and be like, oh, I'm interested in that. Oh, I'm interested in that. And there are times where you're interested in 2 things and you just kind of have to sit there in the middle and being like, and that's why Combo Breaker's great.
If you could sneak in one of those office chairs and just like spin around, and just take in everything from the center of the floor.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to show this off because this happened last week. Look at this fancy ass chair.
That looks fancy ass.
It is an ergonomics chair, and it's great. And I duct tape a bunch of lights to the back, so the lights go on the wall. And one of those lights just fell.
That's what you get for trying to draw attention to it.
There we go. Fixed it up. It's all good. But anyway, ergonomics chair, baby. We made it, boys and gals, and everyone in between. But anyway, Combo Breaker Site Tournament. I honestly can't wait to go check out Combo Breaker because it feels like not only is it going to be one of those euphoric events because we all have like not had a Combo Breaker for 2 years, but it's also like already set up to be like bigger and better than anything we've seen before. So big ups to Rick and the crew. Big ups to everybody involved.
28 logos I gotta find.
Mm-hmm.
28 logos.
And we have to start coming up with our team name for Mystery Game Doubles.
So we're not going with best of 5.
You don't want to do Sword Board and Gourd Lords? That was my team name when I did For Honor.
We'll have to discuss that after the show.
Okay. Look, I just don't want to put in our name when we're gonna get on, because that's gonna make us look bad.
Have they seen the show?
With me on the team, we're getting on 100%.
Have they seen this show?
Probably not.
Look, we are setting the bar ridiculously low.
Are we?
Right here.
Are we, Steve?
I feel like sometimes maybe that's just a me thing.
Have you not seen the graphics we have for the recap?
Oh my goodness.
Any hoozle. Combo Breaker. Looking forward to it. Amazing stuff. Congrats to Rick and the crew. Looking forward to it. It's next month. I can't believe it. I'm saying that. It feels like when it got announced, it felt like a year away. And now it's a year later.
Nikes.
All right. Speaking of new stuff. Some new characters got announced for Melty Blood. along with a couple of balance changes, including a change to the shield system, which had half of the world going, what the hell? I hate this. It's too, you buffed shields. What is wrong with you? And it had the other half of the world going, what the hell? I hate this. You nerf shields. What's wrong with you? So I think this is a good time for us to really think about how knee-jerk reactions are, what's the word?
Bad.
Well, sometimes. In this case, yes. But I think it's a good lesson in think about what you post before you post to social media. Yeah, because like half of the world has been like hating it because like they think they buffed shields. The other half of the world has been hating it because they think they nerfed shields and they think the whole game has changed. So it's just such a crazy thing. And from what I understand, the patch just came out. so like a tiny adjustment has set like a bunch of people over the edge. With that also came a couple of new characters, which were free. And I've been seeing a lot of cool tech, and I've been seeing a lot of cool stuff. And I'm looking up what those new characters are right now because I forgot to do that. And I unfortunately have not played Melty Blood in a while.
Powered Ciel.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Oh, the Mario guy.
Mario.
Yeah, Mario Gallo Bestino. The Mario of the game. Came out 16 hours ago. And yes, he does jump on turtles. So be careful. But yeah, so new stuff out for Melty, and it feels like the response to it has been so bizarre because there's a lot of people who are very passionate about the game, all of a sudden put a bunch of stake into this patch, and like half of them are like, you're killing the game, and the other half are like, you're killing the game. Or a Frying Pan. Wait, who does Melty? Is it Frying Pan? Please tell me it's Frying Pan. Did I just screw up?
French bread?
French bread, yeah. Frying Pan.
How did you get frying pan from French bread?
I said Fran Pan. As in F-R-A-N-P-A-N. That's the Japanese name, right? Anyway. French bread. But yeah, I think it's a good exercise in a lot of people saying a lot of things, and it just seeming like it's like a whirlwind of nothing. Much like social media. So maybe this is a good exercise in us thinking about how we react to patches before we play them. And I've seen like way too many twitlongers at this point about it. So, play the game. Share your thoughts, but don't make it seem like it's the beginning or the end of the world, because it's not. I guess that's all I have to say about it. Granted, my opinion doesn't really mean much, but we're here anyway. Captive audience. Anyway, that's all I had to say about Melty. Just because I saw so much drama and it felt like it shouldn't have been drama or wasn't drama, but felt like drama.
If I link you the trailers, would you be able to pull them up?
Sure. Put them in the chat. Because we're going to talk about some new games. That's one of the few other things we want to say. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Oh, speaking of, while you're sending those links, one of the things that came out recently is this guy, Omega Rugal. And everybody's having a blast doing genocide cutters left and right. I've seen so much shenanigans on the boss mode Omega Rugal. It's hilarious. Just like seeing everybody like try to do something, and they like specifically made him like broken as all hell. Like I think I saw he has a super where he walks forward and then command grabs you, and projectiles reflect off of him while he's doing it. If you jump at him, like something happens, and if you like hit him with anything, he's got armor. So it's literally like he does it, and you're like, well, yes, that's the game, and it's hilarious, and I'm a fan, and I can't wait to try it out, and then like play it once, and then be like, cool, and then not play it again because I'm not ready for that for that kind of stress in my life. But yeah, Omega Rugal out now. Along with the boss battle stuff. And I'm also saying this sentence just to say this sentence because I am doing something.
Stretching for time. Stretching for time.
Yep, I am doing the thing of which we are here today to enjoy, and it is some trailers. So how about we watch some trailers that we totally have had set up this entire time. Hey, for the 20 of you that are watching, thanks. Sorry. This is what you signed up for. Anyway, let's look at this cool stuff, shall we? Audio's not working. There we go. Ignore the YouTube details.
You're talking about Powered.
Look, I think this is an improvement because the last character they announced, which was Noel something or other, just looked like straight up jailbait, and it made me very uncomfortable.
Like, how do you compete with someone who has like she's got a freaking rocket launcher? Like,
sometimes, Steve, all we can hope for is a rocket launcher.
Like, you've got so many of these characters who are dressed.
Sorry.
Oh, we're going
no, go on. No, go on.
Who are dressed, or just like normal high school students who have plenty of drive and they'll fight to the end. And you're going up against a girl with a rocket launcher. Come on, that's just not fair. There's got to be something in the Melty rule book that says, okay, that just seems like an unfair fight to me.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's been getting popularized recently, right? Like fighting game characters just straight up having guns. Like, let's look at Hulk. Let's look at T-Hawk in the first Ultra patch.
Oh man, but I don't know. I'm just going on a random tangent because okay, why doesn't everybody bring a rocket launcher?
I don't know. Maybe some people don't have enough money for a rocket launcher. Steve, did you ever think of that? Speaking of, you know who doesn't use rocket launchers is Mario. Goes off, saves the princess. Anyway, here he is. He sure looks a lot different in this patch.
So,
does he get zombie mates? Oh no, they're regular mates.
They're nuns.
Nuns? Oh, that's even weird.
So he is all about
that was
doing
so
whatever
up.
it takes. Yeah.
Hold on, that was messed up. We need to watch that again. Oh, that's so messed up. Oh no. Anyway, there he is.
He got some nastiness to him. But he is a puppet character, obviously, so he is all about using whatever he can do, whatever he can use to make himself and the church successful. And good golly, he's got some nasty stuff.
It looks rough. It looks real rough. Sorry. But yeah, so those are the new people for Melty. There's another game that we got an announcement of for this week. And by this week, I mean today. Like literally right before the show started. And that is a game that is near and dear to my heart because I feel like I've misrepresented them and they stopped writing us emails. But anyway, Right and Fight. Right and Fight comes out tomorrow. I might stream it on this channel. If I have an easier day at work, like if I find myself not doing anything, I'm definitely just gonna boot up Right and Fight and I'm gonna stream it on here because that game looks awesome. So awesome, in fact, that they have this trailer. I don't know why it was so loud. Anyway, there's Mark Twain, William Shakespeare, Alessandro Mazzoni, Alexander Dumas, Antonio the Saint. And then you get dragged off the stage. There's William Shakespeare. H.P. Lovecraft is here, and he's got tentacles. Why not? They have Ernest Hemingway, and of course he's the only one that's shirtless.
Full story. This game. I mean this in the best way possible. This game is so weird.
I can't wait to try it. I really can't.
Like
James Joyce.
The animations come like straight out of, if you remember those Jib Jab cartoons from like 2000, what was it, 2004, 2008? It shouldn't work, but it kind of works.
Dude, I just want to see. Look at that. Oh, no. Hold on. Look at that. They're fighting next to a ship called the Daniel Webster. That's hilarious. I am so excited for this game. I cannot wait for all the crazy shenanigans to go down. Man. Right and fight. It's been a while. I thought the game was released back in February, but apparently they went back to the drawing board and like fixed up a couple of things. It does have rollback, for those of you wondering. Yes, you can fight with your favorite writers in rollback netcode. So it's already doing better than Street Fighter. As far as the netcode goes. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see like what this game plays like. It looks hilarious. It has like a weird like Fight of Gods feel to it, if you remember Fight of Gods. With like the celebrities that are in it, if you will. So I think it's super interesting. I can't wait. When's the Edgar Allan Poe? Why is Edgar Allan Poe not in there? What the hell? That's a perfect character. You give him like he make him like Testament and Guilty Gear with the Crow or Raven. You know, Nevermore. Red Death. Guillotine. There. I'll take the consultation fee and pizza coupons.
I just want to see. I want to see you stream it tomorrow.
I'll try my best.
I got to get my taxes done, so I don't know if I'll be able to jump in. But
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. It all depends on how much work I have to do, and I won't know that until tomorrow. But I have a feeling I might have some work to do, which is unfortunate. But other than that, we'll see what happens. Another thing that got announced earlier this week, Steve, and we don't have a graphic for this, unfortunately, but Rumbleverse. You guys remember Rumbleverse, the game that was supposed to come out in February and then disappeared, made by Iron Galaxy, and of course the Keats is working on it as well. I believe he's working on it. They announced that they're going to have more playtests coming in June. So they're trying to fix up the game. Apparently the game looks and plays much better than it used to. They have not rollback. Jeez. If they had rollback for like 40 people lobbies, that'd be impressive. But they have crossplay. So everybody gets to play this time around. If you're on PlayStation, if you're on Xbox, if you're on PC, everybody gets to play. Everybody goes in. Apparently in the full release, they're going to have tag teams, which is pretty exciting, but they don't have it for this network test. It's just going to be solos for now. But I know myself and a lot of other people in the FGC, including people like Tubbleware, Ultra David, Esteban, the Bestaban, myself, and a bunch of others are like in withdrawal. Oh, Katana Prime is another one. We're in withdrawal from not having the opportunity to play this game. So it's nice that we'll be getting another playtest soon. So if you haven't, go wishlist that game on Epic, because then you get to play too. Steve?
There's one other thing I wanted to bring up that got announced this past week.
Okay.
And it's a pretty interesting concept. Smash GG is partnering with Sajam to run a series called Choose Your Fighter. So how this works is that there are 5 tournaments that are going to take place. Which game will those 5 tournaments be? That's up to you. So the winners of each event are going to get a sponsored trip either to Combo Breaker if you win one of the first 2, or CEO if you win one of the last 3. The game is actually going to be, as I said, chosen by fans. They're going to take for the first 2 weeks, they're going to take every game in the Combo Breaker lineup aside from platform fighters and games that don't have online, the ability to play online. And they open it up to a vote. And whichever game gets the most votes for the first week, that's the game that's going to be the qualifier, or that the tournament's going to be. The voting for the first week just ended, and Uniclear won. So on April 23rd, the first tournament is going to be Uni, and I will throw a link to register on that. Whoever wins gets to go to Combo Breaker for free. Voting for the second tournament has begun, and then, as I mentioned, the other 3 tournaments will be for CEO, so they'll have a different game lineup. So, this event takes place on the 23rd, so next Saturday. Voting is going on for the second week, or the second event. Voting runs through Saturday, and then that one will take place on the 30th.
That's interesting.
It is really interesting. It's really cool that, it's the opportunity to see someone get in for something other than one of the big games. Street Fighter might win. Tekken might win. Guilty Gear might win. And there's nothing wrong. I wouldn't be disappointed to see players get in through that. But it's nice to see, like, a Uni player or a Skullgirls player. Skullgirls, I think, finished second in the voting.
Interesting.
That's the one I voted for. It was Uni, Skullgirls, and... Website's being a little slow for me right now.
MK11 has no votes. Sad. Sage, as they say on the Twitter Twitch world. Not Twitter world, I apologize. That's interesting.
There we go. It was Uni, Skullgirls, and KI as the top 3. So,
okay. And
all of those games are eligible for the second week. So
I should start playing KI again. KI is so fun. It just sucks that I don't have an Xbox stick, so every time I go to a tournament, I feel self-conscious and don't enter. Because I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, anybody got a stick?
Alon, be that guy.
No.
Be that guy.
No.
That is going to sound weird when I'm listening back to it.
I dislike being a burden, Steve, and that feels like it's a burden. Now,
you are not a burden.
Absolutely are. Anyway, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to tune in to see that Sajam stuff, because that's definitely something I don't think we've seen before. So, good on Sajam and good on Smash GG for giving people some opportunities. Opportunities are never bad here in this world that we live in the FGC. Steve, was there anything else? What else did we want to say?
I got everything off of my chest that I wanted to.
Okay.
To get. So.
Okay. So that's, unless Steve, did you have anything else before we end the show?
I just got one thing to say. Good night, Canada.
I have one thing to say before that. Sorry.
I thought that was the outro.
No.
I thought that was... Okay.
You have good. Okay, you've said your good night, Canada. It's my turn. And I say this as a tribute, of course. And all I want to say before we leave is, I'm old enough to remember back to a simpler, more innocent time when the worst thing you'd hear about in the news was hijacked jetliners flying into buildings. Rest in peace, Gilbert Gottfried. See you guys
Good night,
next
Gilbert.
week.